Ladies and gentlemen, in the past week or so, we have experienced the first time in Donald Trump's political career that he has a net positive approval rating in aggregate. I call that winning. I call that a cultural shift. I call that people no longer being afraid to speak about what they truly want. But the thing about polling is that when asked if you were, you don't really have fear of reprisal. Some people did. Some people really did. It was the silent Trump voter or the secret Trump voter. But I think now what we're seeing is that many people woke up after the Biden administration failed. Yes, I kid you not. You see, the way they played the game, what they're saying now is that Donald Trump has no popular mandate. He didn't win more than half the country. Well, he won the popular vote, so it is. Thank you and have a nice day. And they counter when we say that Trump won the popular vote by saying that, well, Joe Biden won the popular vote and the popular mandate. To that I say, yes, you're correct. Now, I know a lot of people that want to come out and they want to say Donald Trump beat Joe Biden in 2020, and they want to say that Joe Biden could never have gotten 81 million votes. He cheated. The votes were fake. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't care. I think it was largely ballot harvesting. I think it was largely individuals who didn't really care, but, were locked down, so they filled out their universal mail-in vote. But I'm not going to go there. My response to these leftists and these liberals when they say, oh, yeah, well, Joe Biden won a popular mandate, I go, he sure did. He sure did. And he screwed it up so royally that they removed him from his campaign and replaced him with one of the least popular candidates ever, trailing Donald Trump. And that says a lot about the miserable failures of Joe Biden. Yeah, boy. It reminds me of that Family Guy joke where Meg has this ugly woman next to her and she's like, they hired this ugly woman to stand next to me to make me look better by contrast. And then some guy's like, wow, Meg, did you get less ugly? The point is, Donald Trump was a great president and the media attacked him relentlessly, creating this false perception. And then everybody says, we want Joe Biden. So they get Joe Biden, and boy, does that dude burn it to the ground. He was so bad that they replaced him. His own party betrayed him. His approval rating was in the gutter. His polling was lagging by double digits. That's how much Biden screwed up his quote-unquote popular mandate. Well, now we have the story from Newsweek. Donald Trump's approval rating breaks records. My friends, during the first Trump administration, I tracked this relentlessly, going over the data consistently about the RCP aggregate approval rating for Donald Trump. Now, I must clarify, what we are looking right now is favorability. So let me clarify. I did say approval rating. These are two different things. His favorability, his current approval rating is still very low. Wow. This is crazy. His approval rating actually dropped massively. But so correction. I meant to say favorability. His favorability is now above the spread at 0.3. 0.3, they say. 0.3. It says 0.2 up here, but down here it says 0.3. Now, I will absolutely point out these numbers make very little sense. They don't like the job Trump is doing, but they like him. They favor him. Nah, I don't believe it. You take a look at these polls, and these are all from before Donald Trump got in. And we still have not received any polls on approval so far. Why would people, and this is why I don't trust the media, there's several things wrong with this. Why would economists have a -2 spread? Harvard-Harris has a +8 spread for Trump. And then we jump over here. Harvard-Harris has a -6 for his job approval. They're like, wow, we really like the guy, but man, he sucks at his job. I don't know that I believe it. The people elected Donald Trump to do a job, and he wasn't even president yet, and they're saying he was doing a bad job. That's why people don't trust these polls. And that's why, look, I can say this. For the first time ever, his favorability, and again, it's a correction. I meant to say favorability because I have both. His favorability cracked positive in December, a month after he won, and then we are seeing it now, literally right now, today. So what does that mean? In this story from Newsweek, they say Trump's approval rating breaks records. Well, the reason, I don't like playing these games. This is a single poll, and it's got a limited polling body. So I don't care too much for headlines like this. I mean, it's true, it's correct. A poll has shown a record approval, but in aggregate, while Rasmussen has Trump up +3, everybody else has him very, very down. But it'll be interesting to see. The spread being -15, I think, makes no sense considering Trump wasn't president when these polls were taken. Let's read the story from Newsweek. Before we do, smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know, become a member at timcast.com, check out our uncensored content, and join the Discord server. You can also go to Cast Brew and buy coffee. But let's read this from Newsweek. They say Donald Trump's approval rating is at 56%, according to the head pollster at Rasmussen. Now, I want to stress, while Rasmussen is considered to be conservative, that means nothing, because Rasmussen was one of the, if not the most accurate pollster in the election. So here's what I will say. While the sample size was small at 407, that's, tough. What I will say is Rasmussen, I believe, was the most accurate pollster in November. So when we look at all of the polls available, I don't care about Economist or Morning Consult, these other polls, because they were not so good. Rasmussen right now says Trump is +3. Meanwhile, his favorability is 0.3. That makes sense. It literally makes sense. That's what we would expect from legitimate polling. Why? Some people might say, I don't like the man, but he's doing a good job. So his favorability should be lower and his job approval should be higher. Not the other way around. Man, I really like him, but he is screwing up. No. These polls were taken before he was even in, which is indicative of it should be comparable in that people voted for the man. He won a popular vote. The polls should reflect that. The media lies. It's what they do. But I digress. I'm not blaming Real Clear Politics, by the way. I think they do a great job. They're aggregating these polls. The favorability is the big news because in aggregate, Trump has a net favorability. That's amazing. Considering an unpopular vote, I know it's probably not surprising. They're going to say, head pollster Mark Mitchell initially said on X, formerly Twitter, that 53% of Democrats approved of Trump before deleting the post. Interesting. He then posted updated figures on that Trump's approval rating stood at 56%, with 36% of Democrats approving of Trump's job performance. That makes a bit more sense. They say Trump's popularity could allow him to pass his agenda easily through Congress if Republicans rally around him. The president's agenda includes mass deportations, rolling back DEI policies and environmental protections, and raising tariffs on countries such as China, Mexico, and Canada, which could impact the economy. It could also solidify the chances of another MAGA candidate being picked as the GOP's nominee in the next presidential election. They say the results present the highest ever approval ratings for Trump. His approval rating during his first term peaked at 45.8%, according to 538. However, at the time, 50% of voters disapproved of him. 538's tracker shows. At the latest poll, and the latest poll is a jump from yesterday for Trump, when Rasmussen's tracking poll showed that Trump's approval rating stood at 53%, while 41% of likely voters disapproved of his job performance. Of those 36%, they said they strongly approved of his job performance, while 32 strongly disapproved. The poll had a sample size of 423. Now, I will be the first to say that's small. Doesn't mean a whole lot. I'll give credit to Rasmussen for being right before. They say the surge follows Trump's inauguration for a second term as president. This we know. However, despite strong support, Trump still faces some barriers to getting his agenda through Congress. I want to pull up Civics and check their real-time results here on, Trump favorability. And right now, what we can see is that Donald Trump's favorability has been increasing. From last year until today, he's jumped a hearty 6 or so points in favorability. And I think that was fairly obvious when you look at the election results. Among 18 to 34-year-olds, it has grown, but he's still 36% unfavorable. For the millennials, well, I mean, some millennials are under 34, but from 35 to 49, once again, favorability increased. 50 to 64, he has now become more favorable. And for the 65 plus, he has also now become more favorable. Gen X, my friends, I want to give a shout out to our friends in Gen X. They saved this election. The overwhelming swing of Gen Xers towards Trump is what pushed Trump over that finish line. Obviously, men like Donald Trump, 51%, and women don't. I didn't even need to click the polls to see that data. My friends, we need to see what happens in the next week with these polls. Will Donald Trump see a skyrocketing favorability? I don't see why he would not. He won the popular vote. His favorability should already be above 50%, right? Maybe not, because he won with like 49.9% or something. And so there's going to be some leftist groups that don't like him, and there's going to be some more libertarian groups that still challenge him. But my friends, it's a new day. Things are changing. Trump's favorability for the first time is positive. I'll leave it there. Smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. Become a member at timcast.com. I'll watch our uncensored members only shows. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next segment.